though? What up, though? Welcome to another episode of Sibling Rivalry. I am. What's that, nigga?
We're going to work on some better pictures. Those are nice, but we're going to get better pictures of me.
Hey, nigga. I got what I got. I got what I got.
Exactly. I can work with what you're giving.
Hey, that's what I got in my phone. That's what I use. Welcome to another episode of Sibling Rivalry. I am Mel, and this is Coach Tim. And we here with episode 5. Last episode did pretty good. We appreciate those who watched. We just ask you help out with the algorithm and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share it with somebody. We're trying to grow something here, but we do appreciate the love and support that we have gotten. How you doing today, Coach Tim?
I'm feeling wonderful. No, I'm doing good.
I mean, are you sure you're feeling wonderful?
Well, listen, it's raining, and as those that don't know, I do have fibromyalgia, so fibro and rain just don't really mix, but I'm doing well. I just came back from California and meeting my new granddaughter, Brother Mayo, which I want a bean pie after I hear that. But he is an expert at this grandparent thing because he got like 20 of them. This is my first one, so I'm happy about that.
Nobody know my age. I might be trying to get some of these young chicks out here. Calm that down.
That's okay. I mean, you still got 20 grandkids. They need to know that now because as soon as they see you, they'll be like, "What the hell? You got all these kids?"
Hey, that's how we get down. I be fucking.
Oh my. Okay, there you go. Let's just get this started because it's going to go downhill from here.
But anyway, I know we got topics that we're going to talk about, but I'm going to say this is my monologue because I was scrolling through, I won't say it's Facebook or IG. I be on IG a lot. I won't say it was Facebook, but anyway, they gave a poll that said it had Snoop and Ice Cube. Did you seen that one? Mm-hmm. And it said, so basically said, bar from bar, who has the better lyrics and who has the better catalog. And so,
between Snoop and Cube?
Yeah. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
So I scrolling through the comments, and 98% of everybody is picking Cube. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, I don't disagree with it, but no, I guess more of my question or for sake of discussion is, when I looked at it, first thing I say, well, bar for bar, I got Cube. Catalog wise, I think it's a toss up. That Doggy Style album was kind of, I like that Doggy Style album.
Everything.
And then if you include the Chronic, include some features and stuff, Snoop catalog kind of tight. Some of Q's later stuff I didn't like as much as early stuff.
Right.
West Side Connection, that was a banger. All that West Side Connection stuff was good.
Nigga, please, you just like WC.
WC. I mean, I tell everybody, man, I think he's the most underrated rapper there is.
We know.
I don't think nobody give him the credit that he deserves, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, so when I was reading the comments and stuff, but one thing some people will give Snoop some credit for the catalog, but everybody pretty much saying, lyric wise, Q got a beat. But then you start reading down into the comments some more. They was like, I wouldn't even put Snoop in my top 10 when it comes to lyrics. So it got me to thinking like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I started thinking. So then I started really thinking about some of the stuff, like going through some of the Snoop songs and listening to some of the stuff. I can't say I don't disagree. Snoop has, I'm going to let you say what you're going to say. Go ahead and say what you're going to say. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Go ahead.
I feel like two things. You have to find out how old these niggas is that's saying that.
I think most of them niggas is probably in that age group with Cube and Snoop age group. You know what I'm saying? They grew up
I don't know,
musical.
because I feel like that's an age thing. And then two, I feel like because even though we're close in age, we're not close in age as
Right,
far as
right.
like generation.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Because you on a cusp and I'm on a cusp of
Right, right.
a different generation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. And then also, who the hell listens to lyrics these days? Nobody listens to lyrics these days. They listen for beat and beat alone. Like you got a good beat. Cause all that shit today
Yeah.
is so bubble gum Dr. Seuss. I got the cat in the hat with the rat. And y'all like, yeah. And then it'd be like one line and then a whole different line. He'd be talking about going to eat spaghetti. Then the next line, he talking about sitting down with the president. You're like, what the hell?
How'd you make
How
that
does that
leap,
even
right?
come together? Right. It ain't no balance. It makes no sense. So I think that that's something because, yeah, Snoop sometimes be crazy, but I think I would give him catalog versus I would give him the catalog thing versus Cube because Cube catalog not as great as Snoop because Snoop did gospel. He did everything. He got a song with the Clark sisters that's a banger to me.
Yeah, I mean, David Cool, like I said, some of his features like Beautiful with Pharrell, you know,
Yeah.
been on the Dog Pile stuff. So he didn't probably, I think he ain't probably been on a lot of some of everybody's stuff. When he go on the line.
Right. From east to west,
right.
to south, because
Right.
you know he was in No Limit.
Yeah.
But
Was
Master
No Limit
P,
for a
now he
minute.
making cereal. Now he got a Snoop cereal. So listen, Snoop is a
Oh,
jack
yeah,
of all trades.
you can't include his cereal parts as his lyrical catalog.
No, but I'm just
Nigga
saying, like
rapping.
he has that's part of his catalog. He got a lot.
Yeah.
He's diversified.
I will say this though, because I went back and started listening to some of his stuff, and I'm like, okay, so that shit don't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
As the sun rotates and my game gets bigger.
Like, all right, nigga, okay.
Sound good to me. That's my favorite songs. Keep it going.
But I will say this about Snoop. Snoop has he has a persona. You know what I'm saying? The whole persona comes with Snoop. And I think like the voice, the way he kind of like, you know, the charismatic part of him and stuff like that, you got to get at the Snoop. You know what I'm saying? Q, when it comes to his stage presence, to me, is more one dimensional when you compare him to Snoop and his stage presence. I think Q is got a better acting catalog than Snoop though. But
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we just talking, we stick strictly to music. I give Q the lyrics and I give Snoop the catalog. Yeah, but I think it's still close in that because Q got some banger. That first solo album is classic.
Yeah.
You know, Lethal Injection, classic.
Yeah.
Some people like War and Peace. I don't like a few songs on War and Peace. You know?
Look, stop. That's it.
I mean, War and Peace wasn't bad. Was that the one that got in the club? No, that's not in the club. In the club is 50 Cent. What's the one he got?
Yeah, that's I'm like, what?
God, he got a club song. What's it called? Oh, it's on tip of my tongue.
Next to you. Look on your phone. Look on your phone. Usually it'll come to you.
Yeah.
But as you look in, I'll say this. Cute was my very first person I went to see in concert. That's when he got it. He cut the Jerry. What he said? Cut the Jerry curl and got the ball head.
Cut that Jerry juice and got ball head. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I was like, you know,
we be clubbing. That's it. We be clubbing.
Oh yeah. That was for the movie.
Him and Mac 10.
What's the movie?
It's not for Players Club. Is it Players Club?
Players Club. Look, I got fibro. I got an excuse. What the hell is your excuse? All them grandkids.
Got my favorite line there. And nigga said, girl, he said, girl, you look fine. Oh, no. He say, God. She got ass for days. Nigga, speak on it. First, speak on it. He said, nigga, put a week on it. I love that. So,
where we going? Yeah, that was definitely a banger.
That was a banger. Yeah, you know.
Right.
We be clubbing. I mean, so
speaking of acting, he was acting in that, so he did a good job.
Yeah, so I think that for me, as you got past Death Certificate, Lethal Injection, as you got past Lethal Injection, I started liking less albums than more just like songs by Cube.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I like this song. Like even that song, Spitting Pot of Seeds. To me, Dub C was the best on that song. No, I'm not saying that because I like Dub C. I'm just saying he just was. His verse,
Right.
his verse was fire. I mean, Q verse was straight, but his verse was fire. I always used to fast forward to the Dub C part and be like, all right, and I be winding. So
Right.
I just think for me, for Q, I do got past Lethal Injection, Death Certificate. It just kind of like, okay, I like this song. I don't know about the album, but I like that song off the album. 2 or 3 songs off that album, 2 or 3 songs off that album. Snoop, Doggy Style, and then more of his features. I forgot what the second album was called. But more of his features than anything else when it came to Snoop. But it's just like Snoop catalog. It's like to me it's just vast because you including features and stuff like that. It's just so much stuff that Snoop had done. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that up there for discussion. Those who hear this, get in the comments, tell me what you think. Cube or Snoop, catalog bars. You got both of them, or you just got like.
I put your year. I put how old you are. You don't have to say like, oh, You don't have to put the exact, but give us a range.
Give us your decade.
Because I'm just curious
what
of
decade
how
you grew up in. Let's say that. Like you said, I grew up in the 90s.
Because I'm
I grew
just
up in the 80s.
curious on how that.
That way you ain't get a full age. Just I grew up in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s or whatever. So that way we have an idea of, okay, these young niggas saying this, or it's the old head saying that, or whatever. So we have an idea.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so this story is kind of old.
And it goes downhill from here.
It's kind of old, but it's kind of recent and relevant because you're still hearing it pop up in the news. And the lady in so I'll say Chicago, the lady in Colorado who refused to do the gay couples cake. They ruled on in the Supreme Court and said that she had a right to refuse service to them because of her religious freedom and her religious rights and stuff like that. And as I was looking at that, I was like, I'm in the service industry, been in it for a while, and I just think, if you just look at it from a service standpoint, I don't think you should be able to refuse people service based on your religious beliefs. Because in this particular situation, we're just making a cake. They want to ask you to make a penis cake. When I ask you to have 2 men, doing doggy style, just ask you to make a cake for a wedding. You weren't attending a wedding, so I don't see why this was a big deal. And I think, to me, this set precedence for them to discriminate against other people and other groups. That's how I look at it. I think that a lot of people looking at it from just that surface standpoint. For me, I think this sets a precedence for them to discriminate. What if my religious belief is like, I don't believe in serving black people, or I don't believe in serving Latinos, or I don't believe in serving whoever. You just insert marginalized group, you know what I'm saying? And say, well, that's my religious belief, because we already have it where you can't discriminate, anybody, or say anybody. Let me rephrase that. You can say anything as a church now. You can call it the Church of Snakes, get a 501c3, and it's considered a religion in the United States. So my thing is, I know, I'm just saying, I'm just using that example, but you can say whatever, we the Church of Peanut Butter and Jelly, and all we eat is peanut butter and jelly and 513c, and that's your church. So my thing is, we make up our church dogma and say, hey, we don't like such groups, and we refuse to give service to them. To me, to set precedence for that. I think that you have to take away, your Christian belief from you're in the service industry. I know some churches who don't believe in smoking cigarettes. So if I work at a gas station, or I work at Walmart or whatever, I'm not going to sell somebody a pack of cigarettes because that's my religious belief. To me, where do we draw the line? It's just silly to me.
Well, for me, I understand what you're saying because that will open up a big that Pandora box.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like, shoot, you can, if that's what she chooses, it's her business. If you don't want to serve them, then don't serve them because I don't want you to make my damn cake and you don't like black people.
Oh yeah.
Because that means if something gonna fall on the floor, you're gonna be like, oh, well, just scoop it up. They don't give a damn.
Them niggas don't care.
So no, thank you. I'd rather for you to tell me up front, and I'm fine. I can go somewhere
Right.
else.
Right.
But on the flip side of it, you can get to that point because then if you don't want to, then these people they feel the same way. Then where does that service come from? And then if you're in the service industry, you should try to serve everybody you can. I mean, that just makes sense economically for your financial.
Right.
You about to miss out on this cake, no telling how many people that they gonna have. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you stupid. That's your own stupidity.
Business. That's the business to me. It's like
right, and that's business because you're gonna get people that you don't like that come in there and not talking about just surface, but just people with badass attitudes or what have you. Why?
You're dealing with the public.
Not?
You got a job dealing with the public. So
right,
people in the LGBTQ A+ community are part of the public. So if you got
exactly, and just think about it with them.
They spend
They
money.
tell their friends, you ain't need nobody else.
I tell everybody this,
like,
and this
all I'm gonna do.
I want y'all to take this the wrong way, and I don't mean no harm by it, but I don't know what you call him, but on Nicole's, I'd say Nicole's uncle. I say it like that. He used to give like these parties, and bruh, they used to come and fly from across the world. And you walk downstairs, people laying on the couch, laying on the stairs at the party, laying everywhere. You stepping over bodies, and they got a network. It's like they have a network when they need something. He'd be like, oh yeah, so and so and such and such, or like information. He be telling me, oh yeah, I heard about such and such. When stuff was going down with certain stars, he knew all the information because they had a little network. Boo, 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 boo. And I say that to say, like, if you get good service and they talk about you, hey man, they got good service. Boom. How much business you can get? You should making cakes. Now I can see if you don't want to make any what's the word I use? Any kind of explicit cakes and stuff like that. Because you might not want to do that for heterosexual people. You
said before.
Yeah, you might want to do that for heterosexual people. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I can understand that. But just because your sexual orientation refusing service, I think that's silly. You dealing with the public. It's a public service. It's like, I mean, why are you going to serve a public business and just deal with Christians altogether? Then say this is a Christian business, all I deal with Christians, and that's cut it off. If that's what you want to do. Because you're going to get people. What about drug addicts? You're not going to make a cake for drug addicts? What about people that who's fornicating? Because y'all don't believe in fornicating. You're not going to make cakes for fornicators? I mean, we can go down the line. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that the Christian Bible says you shouldn't do or that you should be against. And there's people every day that walking just because they're not wearing a sign on their head to say I'm fornicating. But as soon as they say I'm fornicating, you go, oh, I can't make your cake. No, where do you draw the line? I think this is the
and having people that's getting married. Did you ask? Hey, did y'all have sex?
Right? Are you asking that?
Because I'm not making your cake.
I can't make your cake. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the silliness of it to me, and I'm more speaking to the Supreme Court. Setting this precedence because now you open up a whole can of worms for a whole lot of other people start, putting in claims, saying, hey, I can't do that because of this, I can't do that because of that. And what are what I'm saying? Now you got like white supremacist groups that start business. Oh no, we can't. No Jews, no gays, no niggas. We refuse to serve them because we got our own religion and we say it's against our religion. Then what?
Right.
I just think that's silly. Right. But anyway,
make that cake.
Right. Make that cake.
And make that money.
Make that cake, anime. Right.
Not saying that money is everything.
Oh, yeah.
At the same time, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like you said, they have such a network and they are in every industry. It's not, and I hate to keep saying they like they just
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like they're an animal or something. But I mean, it's a group, just like a sorority or a fraternity. So if you're a
Mm-hmm.
Delta, you're not gonna make a cake for an AKA because
Mm.
oh no, we don't mess with them. Like
No,
that's just
we don't mess
stupid.
with them. Them deltas be
Right.
pimping.
Right.
No, we don't do
Too
Q
much
dogs.
pinky. Right.
Yeah,
Like, come on. Let's just
it's silliness to
support
me. It's
everybody.
silliness to me. You know, I think that I can separate. I can separate the two. I mean, I got people in my job now. I mean, I got a couple trans people in my job. I got some people that's cross dressed at my job. They come through my line. I'm like,
Here we go. You got a black friend, huh?
uh, I want to say all. I wasn't saying it. I wasn't using that context. I was not using that context. I know better than using that. But I'm saying I don't refuse service to them. I'll be like, oh, I can't refuse service to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's silly.
No, yeah, that's
Service is
I
service.
love it.
You know what I'm saying? Service is service. I'm in the service industry, so I'm going to serve you. It's as simple as that. You know, the only time I refuse service is you getting unruly. I'm like, oh, I ain't going to serve you because of that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But outside of that, it's like, okay, whatever. Keep it pushing. What you do outside, once you leave my line, what you do after that, I care less. It's like, all right.
As long as you come here and you
You know?
respectful. Yeah, and I mean if you working and I work with the public as well. So I mean, if you working with people, you just
Yeah.
whatever they do is what they
Right.
do. Why you worried about it? I think that's what my biggest thing. I feel like the Supreme Court, they just been really in other people's
A
business a
lot.
little too
A
much
lot.
lately.
They been
And not enough of the civil rights. Y'all need to be
mm-hmm.
thinking about that
Oh, they don't
more
care
than
about that.
anything.
They don't care about that.
No.
But anyway, you get down in the
But that's
comments. That's a whole other show.
right.
Get down in the comments, tell me what y'all think. You know, it's
Legalize
right.
weed.
Is the Supreme Court right or wrong? I know Justice Sotomayor, she gave her opinion. I should have put it up, but she was kind of disagreeing with it. And a couple other. I think I'm the only one that I can remember of note that said something. Right. Power to our brown sister. But yeah, tell me what y'all think about it. You know, you disagree with the Supreme Court ruling, or do you disagree with the lady whose business it was who refused to give service to this couple? You know, is she right or wrong? Or it must not be not even the right or wrong opinion. Just what do you think? You know, what would you do in that situation if you had a business? You know, would you serve or would you not? So drop down in the comments. Let us know. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe again. You know, we got to get the algorithm moving. And
Yes, please.
right. So this story here, you know, I heard a lot of people talking about it, and I heard bits and pieces of it until it wasn't until my sister kind of gave me the whole just to put the story together, because I heard like somebody say this part, somebody say that part. I was getting a haircut, and I heard the people in the barbershop talking about that part. I'm like, what are they talking about? You know, you want to be silent. You don't want to ask. You feel like they were like, you ain't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Don't you feel like that? I feel like that so
I want to be
much.
like, what y'all talking about? So I was like, I'm gonna go home and Google it, and I just forgot to do it. I was like, I'm gonna go home and Google it. I figured it out. But anyway, I saw my brother Sincere. You know, he was talking about it. Check out his show, Black On Podcast. You can catch on YouTube. He was talking about it, and I saw the little thing come up on my feed. I said, I'm gonna watch the show and hear what he's talking about. I think he did like a little short about it too on IG, and I kind of like listened to bits and pieces, so I didn't get the whole story because part I saw he was talking about the result and not actual incident. So anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna play the video, and we're gonna get into it.
Charges against a mother and her 14-year-old son have been dropped.
Get your food! Who? Get the gun? Who? Hey. Get your food! Get your food! If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my grandma, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
The man later died from his injuries. A state attorney's office says they moved to dismiss the charges due to emerging evidence. Murder charges against.
So there y'all have it. I guess I should have gave a trigger warning from the beginning. So that's my mistake.
Yeah, that's very true.
I should give a trigger warning. There's gonna be some violence, and you might want to turn off of that. But I put it on the end. But anyway, that's upsetting. I think that there's no way you should get that mad to hit her that hard. Hit her, period. I don't even say that hard, but hit her, period. Because she wasn't in your face. And all she was, she said something insignificant. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't that significant what she had said. And I think like the first thing she
was just going on.
I think,
you arguing and you just like, this, and she was just going on. But he, from what this is something that I heard, and I couldn't hear it in any of the stories that I listened to, but they said that the girlfriend was in the background egging him on.
Yeah, I heard when she hit him, she was like, he told you. So I heard her say that.
Yeah.
I heard her say that.
And it's like, why would you want your husband, your boyfriend, your son, or anybody to hit a woman? Not to mention just any woman, but you're a young man versus this older lady.
Yes.
That's who you should be respecting. And it was so bad. You see the old man, he was walked out like, oh shit, I don't need this. And he left out. What kind of world are we living in that these kids don't even value older people's lives? Or just value them as being our ancestors or being those people, the elderly, our elders. It's ridiculous. Right. And for the girlfriend to just be like, yeah, hit her, like she needed her behind whooped. I hate to say this, but she needed to be shot in her ass or something. So you can feel like this is what you get too. Because you are the reason why he lost. Well, some of the reason why he lost his life.
That mess on. And
you egged
it on. There's
so
much to unpack in this. It's so much to unpack. If you look at it just from a human standpoint, from a stage of humanity, why are we in the state that we are, where, like you said, we don't respect someone that's older? No matter what they said, she could be 90 years old. She ain't running her mouth. I just walk away. It's not even that. Right. It's not that serious because she's older. I have so much respect for my elder that I won't even. It would never cross my mind to punch her.
Right.
So that slap the shit out of her, maybe. No, but not even. That's
all it's gonna do.
If she older, I probably wouldn't even get to that where I would slap her or nothing like that because she's older. Right. She's right. So that's one thing. Then you look at it from our community perspective, from a black perspective. What state of mind are we in now that we don't respect our elders? That's something that's been instilled in us for generation to our generation. I mean, there's some things that the older generation say to me, and I'd be like, oh my God. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? They used to say some off the hook stuff, and you ain't had no tough skin.
Used to. Look, used to.
Well, well, I was talking about even, as we were kids growing up. There were some things like neighbors. I'm talking about older neighbors would say. There were some things that men and women or parents in the neighborhood would say to you. You just be like, all right, let me go on to the crib. You know what I'm saying?
I hope you don't get no bigger. Right. What?
You're like, what?
Each time I see you, just getting bigger and bigger. It's like, you do know. Let me tell you, I can tell you some stuff that was told to me. Let me tell you. And you just be like, and you keep walking because you know that those are elderly people. Mm-hmm. And it's not that, we should take this from them or not have boundaries, but at the same time, cussing them out or hitting them, that should not even be in your thought process. It's just kind of like, all right, well, I know so-and-so, I'm going to kind of stay away from her or whatever, or you can even say something more polite, like, I'm trying, but please don't talk about my weight. something that's respectful, you still getting it off of you, but to hit her in the way he hit her,
he
and I'm not saying that. Yeah, he hit her like she was a dude his age and his size.
And more than once.
Right.
Like, bro.
It kept it. It's like,
what are you doing?
Come on.
And then I'm gonna tell you, like, okay, so I was in Chick-fil-A Saturday doing DoorDash. And so I'm picking up the order. This elderly lady, she was probably like maybe in her late 60s. She was a bus driver driving like the. I think that she probably doing something, like she probably retired and probably doing some kind of kill time and stuff. It's probably her part-time job. So she was on her break getting some Chick-fil-A. So I'm waiting on my food. So that's like, called the lady name who I was waiting on for DoorDash to grab the food. And so lady talking to me. And I'm like, I'm looking like, you don't DoorDash stuff like that. Get money by if you grab this, I'll get and then another one. And so like she kept on talking, But because she was like, elderly lady, I ain't be like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I gotta get this money. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of like, smile politely and kind of listen to what she had to say. And then, she finally got done. She had to say, and she walked away, and I got in my car, And I just say that because it's just instilled in me that, you respect your elders. And then we wasn't arguing anything, so it was not to the degree of that as the video show, but it's just showing that, sometimes like, you might be the only person she has to talk to. She might be, by herself, don't have anybody, so she happy just to be out and talk to people. So you don't know what that might have done for her. Now, the other part to unpack about the video is that where was the other people to jump in and say, hey, bro, come on, man. Let's not do that.
Right. Like, I can understand, and that was the point that I was going to bring up, too. I can understand the older man, because he's like, I do not want none of them problems.
Oh, won't that smoke?
He left, so I can understand. Right. So, and I can understand that, but I know it was a fast food restaurant. I know that there were some younger guys in there.
That was a hood, like it was on a hood stores too, so had to be a whole lot of people in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you just sat back and let that lady just get punched. And then we haven't even unpacked the fact that her 14-year-old
saw that too. I was just unpacking the inside store thing first. Because there's so much going on. It's like, who was filming it? What kind of generation we live in now that the first thing you think about pulling out a phone versus helping? I mean, hold on, bro. Let's not do that.
Right.
And even if you could...
Or set it up and help.
Has a tripod. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's like the first thing you think, I'll pull out my phone, I'm record this. It's... Go ahead.
Which... You brought that up, but let me ask you this, and then finish your point. But if we don't record it, we don't have that documentation. Because I often be wondering when I be riding down and I see the police stopping people, especially people that look like me. I'm like, okay, what do I do if I just saw him shoot him? And it's like, yeah, you want to go, or you see them harassing them. It's like, yeah, I want to go help. But then at the same time, I need to record it because they have been known to turn off their, their recording device or erase it. So you need that documentation, but you don't need 5 people. So it's like, hey, okay, well, if you're going to record, send it to me. So I can put it on my YouTube. If that's what you into, fine. I don't care. That's a whole nother story. But at least help. Let's all intervene. We all have to be our brothers.
Right.
Because it shows that nobody else, especially when you looking like this.
And that's the thing.
No one else.
Right. I agree. That's the thing. We always talk about, we need to do better and this and that. Then we have incidents where we can do better. The opportunity arises and we fail. We failed in this incident. We fail as a community because we failed with the lady sitting there egging my man on. That's a failure. We failed with my man punching this older lady. That's a failure. And even to a degree with her arguing with him. I'm not. Let me.
I was just going to say because we're not saying that it's okay.
Put this disclaimer in. I am not victim shaming. I'm not saying that she deserved what she got, but I'm just looking at it from an outsider breaking down an incident. don't even argue with him. Just be like, said you gotta say, you see he getting tossed out, like, all right, bro. Somebody has to be the bigger person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, bro.
Right.
It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, I say that, I'm not saying you don't defend yourself. Somebody keep coming at you, you defend yourself. But there's a time you can say, you know what? It's not even worked. All right, bro. It is what it is, and walk away. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's then now we get into you watching her. I mean, we don't know if he knew the 14-year-old was in the car or not, but still, he sees this. What do you expect a child to do? You see your mom being attacked. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's traumatizing.
And I know from experience.
That's a whole nother show too, but
that is traumatizing. I mean, I'm saying, I'm sorry, but for me seeing something but my kids, I'm talking about my children now who saw that, who seen me get attacked, who seen me fighting. My oldest more than one time, but my youngest, I know that's traumatic for her, and it was, and she's screaming and crying and stuff like that. So, yeah, I couldn't imagine what was going through his head, because I know for my mom, especially if I was 14, I'd have did the same thing that old boy did. Now, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's just crazy. And then for them to even charge him, and that, okay, that is the law. And I'm not saying giving him special privileges, but at the same time, it's like, that's traumatic. Your brain not even working. You seeing this grown man, him being 14, so he's a grown man to him, punching his mother. And any boy, whether he 22, they always want to protect their mother. They love their mom, and just to watch that, and then you feeling helpless on what do I do? Now, some say that the mom was texting him, or she was texting, and they assumed that it was him.
Yeah.
And telling him, go grab.
I mean,
grab
if you saying you getting your brains beaten in, get nigga off me. I mean, I still don't see a problem. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Because what you supposed to do? There's nobody in the store helping you. No one. Right. Nobody's doing anything to stop the attack. Hey, come in here and do something. And so my thing is charging him. Okay, yeah. If that's what the law says, we can go down the line of how many people who had money who did things and didn't go to jail. That's a whole nother story. We can go that route. But I think at the very thing, he should get the least amount of charges that should get to him. Now, I know the video said that they decided after watching the video not to press charges. I don't know if this time press charge against the mom or against the son.
Oh, the mom and the son.
Because to me, that's self-defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's self-defense. You see your mom getting, attacked. What you supposed to do? Sit there and watch it? So no, I don't have a problem with it. I just think that it just shows the failure of our community, and that right there, that's why I'm more disheartened about than anything else, because the guy didn't have enough wherewithal to say, you know what, it's not even worth it. Now I don't care what she said. I'm not even gonna go around what she said, but I don't care what she said, because what she said was not worth what you did. It just wasn't.
And it cost you your life.
And then now looking on the end of his girlfriend or wife, whoever she was, she got to live with that. She got to live with that too. You have to live that.
She don't give a damn.
To a degree, it has to affect her some way. That you got to think about that you egged him on, and now he ain't here no more. You might say outwardly, it's her fault or the son's fault, whatever. But inside, you have any ounce of humanity in you, it has to affect you some kind of way.
I don't think she do, because how would you even, if you have any humanity, you will not tell your boyfriend, your girl, whoever you with, to attack. That's just like if me and my sister was somewhere and we got into it with an elderly woman. You ain't gonna be like, girl, knock her old ass out. Grandma need to get it. What? You'd be like,
okay, we about to go
okay,
because you tripping. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, come
I
on,
don't know what kind of day.
go
I don't know
sit
what
your
kind of
old
day you
ass
had
down.
today, but we about to leave.
Yeah, we gonna just and keep it moving and just laugh it off like grandma was really what about to get it. But we ain't gonna do
Right.
nothing to her because like you said, as a community, we need to protect our
Mm-hmm.
elders, not
Right.
beat them down.
Lot.
They done
They
went through a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
So that most of us, me included, wouldn't be able to go through because I know I can't live through Jim Crow. I that just wouldn't be me in the marching. As soon as they talk, I'd be
Dog
like, dogs? Oh
fighting
no,
what? Oh
okay.
no, nigga. You got
You
the
got
wrong one.
this.
I'll
Or a
file some
hose.
paperwork or something. You know what I'm saying? I got you.
Right. Put me in the office.
I'll cater it for you. That's as far as I go, nigga.
I'll make the signs.
I'll
How
bring some
about
paper
that?
cups to the march. Some napkins and shit. But
Right.
I ain't down with all that dogs and hoes.
But
and
I mean,
stuff.
just
I mean, now you
exactly.
talking
And
about HOE.
firebombing and
Yes.
all that
HOSE? No.
He always. You see what I'm saying? But I mean, seriously, they've been through so
Right.
much, and we're not making little of it. But and that's just how, as you can tell, that's how we cope with everything. It's through a joke and a smile.
For real.
That's how we get through. But I mean, just we have to protect them. They've been through so much, and more than we will ever
Right.
go through. Like what we went through, COVID shit. They went through the Spanish flu. They went through all kinds of stuff. Just we gotta protect our
That's true.
elderly,
That's true.
and especially our elderly people of
Right.
color.
Right. You know, and like I said, that's why I said so many layers because it got to humanity just for being a human being is wrong on that level, and then you're looking at from a people of color is wrong on that level. You know, if you're just looking at it from a generational thing, the younger generation is wrong on that level. We failed in so many ways in this thing.
I want to bring this up. I'm
it.
so sorry, and I'm gonna try to make it so generic so you don't know what I'm talking about. But I think that these kids, these generations, I had a situation with someone that's very disrespectful. And that person's ideology is, oh, well, she's not that old. It doesn't matter. I have the gray hairs to prove that I am of a certain age. And I just feel like, regardless of the fact, you respect them for the person that they are, as far as their title and in their age group. You haven't lived the things. Even if you have gone through trauma, you still have, just like I've been through a lot of trauma, but I still haven't lived like my mom lived. Or the age that big age that my mom is in, she hasn't lived like her mom has lived. You know what I mean? So you respect them for the things that they've been through. And I don't know what happened with that generation behind us. Where did we lose? You know, a lot of times they say, oh, because babies have babies. But no, because I was a baby that had a baby. And I'll tell you, my son is very respectful when it comes to the elderly. Now, I will say that he has a little more impatient than me because I'll laugh it off. But it depends on what you say. He may say something back to them. I won't. You would have to be very, very disrespectful for me to go off on someone that's older than me. And my mom will cuss me out in a minute like, well, you should have said that. I'm like, well, no, because of their age. Well, they ain't give a damn your asshole. And they ain't care about you. It's just like, well, mom, I just can't do it. But for the most part is he's very respectful for elderly people. He will, help them across the street or whatever that needs to be done. So I won't say that babies having babies. I just don't know where we got lost in there, in that shuffle of, we are protecting them.
I don't know either. That's just, I don't know. It's sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can make jokes about it to kind of cope with it, but it's a sad situation when you have to think about to see stuff like this. The thing about people put this on the internet. It goes viral. People discuss it. But what are we gonna do about it? And I'm talking about everybody, not just me included. Yeah. What are we gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? We can discuss it and analyze it and break it down. But okay, let's put something into action. You know, some of it starts with just us, and I'm talking about in general. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about generalized, not just pointing you and me, but in general. Start with us dealing with our immediate family. Then branch out to our neighbors, and then our neighbors branch out to their co. You know what I'm saying? So forth and so forth, until you slowly start getting this. Getting that back to, respecting our elders. I know, like, we all get nostalgic about how we grew up. Every generation does. Every generation, their generation was better. But from a growth perspective, a technological perspective, that's what I'm trying to say. From a technological perspective, from a progressive, and I mean as far as progress, not progressive as political, but you know what I'm saying, each generation has gotten better from that perspective. But there are some things that needs to stay consistent throughout. And one of those things is respecting the elders. That should never change. That should always, because the people who are older than you been through some things, they can pass down wisdom to you, and you can learn some things. I don't care how many degrees you get, how high your IQ is. There's always some wisdom that the older people can pass on to that you can learn, and vice versa. Because I'm the type of person, I reach down and ask them some questions so I can learn some things. Because there's always things to learn. There's always an even exchange you can give. But it starts with respect level. Respect who they are and what they've been through. And that's what I think is to stay consistent throughout the generations.
And it goes, like we said, we're not victim shaming the lady, but it goes back to them too, is respect the younger. Everybody should be respecting each other. And we talk about it, like how things that they said to us that was very damn disrespectful. And they're like, well, I'm this age, you supposed to just deal with it. And it's like, well, no, everybody should be on a respect.
On a level of respect, I think that I was talking to somebody, and it's kind of on this level. We were saying, I was talking about like how some things that we experience, they're a little bit older than me, but still in the same age group. I was talking to a couple people, and we were kind of talking about, I brought up, how we grew up and stuff. Cause you and I spent some time in Alabama and stuff like that for the summer. And I say, how like that kind of instilled in me some things that I was like, oh, okay, I would probably never would have got growing up in Detroit. I think there was a good balance of that down south kind of way and a good balance of that inner city kind of way, and to a degree that's a suburban type way. So I got suburbs, inner city, down south, all mixed in. I think that made me well rounded.
Well, I'm sure I know.
So I think that made me well rounded. And so, I was talking about like some of the things that we just, kind of had to deal with as kids, And I don't think it was either right or wrong in some ways. And I say some things I think we should revisit whether it's right or wrong. And I think some things I think that, it kind of made us who we are today. And so two guys was like, all that stuff was right. If so and so got in trouble, everybody got a whooping and this. And I was like, yeah, but what's that necessarily a good thing? I think that we get nostalgic about, like I said before, about our upbringing, that we think because we made it through. But that's an argumental fallacy. I forgot what it's called. That kind of speaks to that. But anyway, I can't think of it. It's a fallacy to that. It's an argumental fallacy that speaks to that.
Show that grad degree, bro. Go ahead.
But it basically, because I can't think of the name, I'm just gonna kind of describe it. Basically, it kind of says that how you remember things, saying is based on a nostalgia type thing. You know, I'm nostalgic about it, but it's not quite. You know, it's like a survivor's type thing because I survived it. You know, that means that it must be right, but you're only dealing with a narrow point of view. You know, and my thing is like, just because you survive it doesn't mean that it was right, and doesn't mean that other people that came through didn't survive it. Like we grew. Oh, I just speak about me. I grew up during the crack era. You know, and I could be like, oh, because I made it out. You know what I'm saying? We made it through that, but there's so many people that died that didn't make it through. I got a lot of classmates that didn't graduate because they 6 feet under. But we look at it from our perspective because we made it out, thinking that it was a great thing, or not saying a great thing, but it's a great thing that we survived and we went through this. But we forget about the people that didn't go through it, or didn't make it, or couldn't hack it, or who were traumatized about getting a group whooping, and they would have nothing to do with the thing. You know, we inflicted a lot of trauma. Right. We got a lot of trauma inflicted on us growing up, and you know, we'll say, "Oh, well, whoopings made us better." Did it? You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother discussion. We can get into that. We might do a show on that one. You know, because I want to do it from an educational standpoint. And I want to do it so I want to kind of get some statistics and stuff and talk about that. So I really want to unpack that. So one day we might do something on that. But don't get me wrong. I whip my kids because that's what I was taught. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that I'm innocent of anything, or saying that I didn't, you know, so I didn't do anything. But sometimes I think, was that abuse? Because sometimes I whooped them when I was angry. Abuse. You know? Yeah. But I saw my parents whip me when they was angry. And we just keep passing this trauma on down. I see my daughter or her kids, she whipping her kids. You know? And so we just passing this down. I think that when it comes to any kind of discipline, I think the discipline should be tailor-made to that child too. Because sometimes whippings don't even work with a child. Sometimes you just take something away, and that's devastating to a child. You know.
I have one of those.
So, you know, you have to see what motivates them. And, you know, is capital punishment one of the things that we should be doing? I don't know. And I think that's a great discussion. But see, I think the problem is, especially people who grew up getting whoopings, go back to what I said, to get nostalgic about it and say, "Hey man, we made it through. Look what happened." You know, but they don't think about the things that how it really affected them. They may have anger issues. They may have issues with dealing with how to cope with people. Well, you know, you do me. You know, you do me like that, I'm going to do you like that. That's part of getting that whooping. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. An eye for an eye type thing. You know, all those things kind of roll up in there, and you don't unpack it because you think it was right. And we can't have a discussion about it because you so adamant about this is right instead of trying to unpack it and breaking it down. No, as we unpack it and break it down, maybe I might say, oh, I might lean a little bit towards your way too, you know, because there's some things I don't see in there, but I want to have a discussion about it and not an argument about it because you're nostalgic about what happened your childhood. Now, this is going to lead us into our next and final discussion. You know, I do our family discussion after this. But before we get to that, you know, don't forget to get down in the comments, get down and, you know, just talk about what you think about the incident. Do you think that was, well, I ain't gonna say you think it's right or wrong, because if you think it was right, that's a whole nother discussion we need to talk about. But get down in the comments, tell me what you think about what happened, you know, our community, our society as a whole. Because, you know, we still got, because even though we are part of a community, we still part of a community that's in a society, you know, that it affects humanity. So how, exactly, you know, how's all that fit and unpack and all that kind of stuff. So just get in the comments, tell me what you think about that. But going into our, you know, we like to end our show talking about family things and some kind of family type subject. And so I was thinking about this, and I didn't even tell Tiffany what we're going to talk about because I wanted to kind of get her raw and uncut opinion about this. So, you know, I was thinking about role models, right? And it goes back to that when Charles Barkley was like, "I'm not a role model," and that whole discussion. I always think about that when I hear people say role models. Think about when he was talking about he wasn't a role model and all that kind of thing. But it made me start thinking about who was my role models. And I started thinking about, Keith and Kevin was my first role models.
Yeah, I think that everybody in your life is a role model, even if it's not a person who is doing have a significant role. Right. You know what I mean? So, like you said, your cousins, your aunts, because you're constantly around these people. Right. As you growing up, you're watching them, and what you're watching, you emulating everything that they do.
So, maybe kind of get into that was because I started thinking about even Tony. I remember when I was a kid, and I couldn't wait. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I could be, it was a common name, so you know what I'm saying.
Keith and Kevin. I got three sets of cousins.
Keith and Kevin, and all of them brothers. So you know what I'm saying. But right. Kevin bought my first pair of designer shoes. You know what I'm saying? I still remember that to this day. As a child, you know what I'm saying, that affected me. I remember watching him with the mink coat on, and he had the eel skin shoes on and stuff like that. I looked up to that. Even Bush to a degree, Cabo Ela. You know what I'm saying? I would just remember my family. A lot of people in my family were my role models growing up. I remember I couldn't wait till the family reunion so I could see certain people sit down and see Uncle Assailant with the cigar and talk to him, and cousin Alice and Aunt Julia and Aunt Johnny, all of them were my role models growing up, man. I looked up to all of them. I couldn't wait to see them. And then when they had them, when some started dying off, so they put some of them I'd had that front table for the matriarch and patriarchs of the family, and you just see them sitting there oh wow, these are our leaders. You know what I'm saying?
I can't wait till I get up there. Guess what? We up there.
I can wait on that. So I can wait on that. But it's just, even on great granddad, on Redrick, I just looked up to all. And I remember sitting down and just going downstairs and sitting, going downstairs and sit and listen to him talk. And it just, I think that how, I know a lot of times I talk about my family. I'm not saying that my family don't have flaws and all that stuff, and we just perfect family. No, I'm not saying that. But there is some things that has been taught to us, been given to us, passed down to us, that makes me always love family. And I think that is something that I appreciated from my mom, taking us to the family reunion all the time, and for other cousins' moms bringing them to the family reunion so we all could be around each other. We can literally say we was raised with our cousins across the country because we see them every single year, and not a lot of people can say that. I be talking.
Yeah. I remember growing up, I used to be, and people would be so amazed, and I'm like,
you don't see
your cousin, you don't talk to, you don't know. Or you don't know who your grandma is? That to me was just right. Are you serious? And I get to see them all the time. I talk to them. You talk about staying in Alabama, growing up with the cousins. I didn't have such a so our thing was just different. But I do appreciate that time because I know how to slow down, or I like that country living. I also love the city. I'm a city girl, but I like that country living of just let's walk to the store. Oh, we walk to church. You know what I mean? Walking to church. That was, I did love that. That was my thing. I always would be mad because you get to leave church and walk to Hardee's, and I couldn't walk by myself. I had to walk straight home. Right. But just that was ooh, I can't wait till I get older. So even when looking for a house, especially now, that's what I'm thinking and gearing towards. I want somewhere where we can walk to the corner and go eat at the restaurant, or walk to the store, or those little things like that. So yeah, I agree with you. And then about all the cousins, Kevin, that's my dad. That was Number two, he
Right.
knew who my friends were. He took me everywhere. First pair of shoes. Shoot, he bought me my first purse
Right.
and my first earrings. He taught me how to wear stockings. He took me to get my nails
Right,
and
right.
my toes done. That was my first thing. Like, we gonna make sure. Or those little girly things. Even
Right.
though that was a man, he
Right.
taught me those things, and I wholeheartedly appreciate everything he's done for me.
Oh man,
Butch, that was just my everything. Like my first real beat down from him, from going with him and not telling my mama. I remember, all those things I appreciate, and that was one of the things that I wanted from my kids and our family reunion. I'm excited to start back up because now that we have our grandchildren, even if they only see each other once a year, that's gonna be a great thing, and that's gonna be a bond because they're gonna be like, "Oh, I got first cousins, nigga. I got 6 first cousins." Like,
Damn.
you know what I mean? So I think right, like we coming gang, but no, I just think that that's gonna be great because I won't say everybody, but they have those cousins now that they're all the same age, and it's like, oh my god, look at it. I feel so. I'm happy about that more than anything else. Like I want to see everybody. I'm happy to get the babies together. You got Ebony, you got a one, and you got Dante, Jordan. Like all these little babies, all around the same age, within 1 to months apart. So I'm excited about that so much. It's like we coming back to get. Is what do you call that? Not evolving, but it's kind of like circling.
Yeah, circle
that
life.
Circle of life is coming back to be. So like all of us, how we used to be, and now it's starting.
I like it, man.
Again. And now
it's because interesting. I was talking to one of the interns at work yesterday. No, I say yesterday, Friday, and we were talking about like just different stuff. And I was talking about I was talking about California and. I'm like describing place, like, you go down the street right here and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, how you know that? I said, I got family. I've been out there so many times, so I know California. Or we talk about New York. I say, yeah, you go here and this and that. I was like, well, how you know? I was like, I got family. We talk about Jersey. How you know all those cities in Jersey? I got family there, So because you've been there so many times, it's almost like your second, third, fourth city. You know what I'm saying? And
right. Yeah, that's true. The same thing that happened when I was in California last week. And my girlfriend was there and we were talking about, I'm like, yeah, that's over there by this and then we got to go there. And she's like, do you live here or are you visiting? I'm like, girl, I've been coming here since I was younger, and you drive and you kind of know where you're going. Yeah, things change, but not as much as,
Right.
Anything
So
else. So it's kind of,
so it's just good. And then like the reason why it really got me thinking, because I was talking to the intern. She was like, well, I don't know about that. I was like, really? And it seemed normal to me, but so other people, it's not. I won't say it's not normal, but it's not an everyday occurrence for them. They're like, oh,
like I don't go to our family reunion. I've been there since I was a baby, and
they family reunion just in that town where they live at. Or something like that. Yeah, I know cousins that live here in this particular town, but I don't know nobody stay. Other towns. So I know I got cousins in Chicago, but I ain't never been to Chicago. They're like, oh, really? So it's kind of that's what kind of made me start thinking about our family, the role models, and like I said, back when Aunt Judy on them was and Alice on them was still alive, and Aunt Johnny and even Uncle Bob, I remember sitting on Taylor and he was teaching me how to play chess, just sitting there talking to him. It was almost like it was so many of us at that time. You can like go from one cousin or uncle and talk to them, and then you leave, go to another uncle and talk to them, get some wisdom, then go, what I'm saying? It was just like, it's almost like a little mini college. You was leaving like little different places and getting different wisdom installed in you. Instilled in you, like, and it was such a great experience that, like you said, I like to see our kids or our kids' kids get that, receive that,
definitely,
and things of that nature, because it shapes who I am today. for the good and for the bad. Right. But anyway, any last words before we close this thing out?
Well, I will say, piggybacking about what we're talking about, is that if you have not talked to someone in your family in such a long time, today is the day to pick up, text, call, Facebook, DM, whatever you can, and just say, hey, I'm thinking about it. Or I'm hoping that you're listening to it in the summertime. But even if you're listening to it in the wintertime, set something up. Like, you know what? On such and such day, and make it convenient for you because you the one that's making it. But like, let's go bowling. Let's do a family thing. Or if it's in the summertime, let's go to the park. I'm heading to the park, and take your kids so y'all can get it together and try to do it once a year or once a month. I know my family, we have Cousins Day, and we dang on here. We do for one. We do for some Cousins Day, because I do have cousins that live here that I ain't seen, that live in my town 30 minutes away, that I ain't seen in forever. So it's time for us as well. But make that initiative to do it, because it's so important. And we not promised to tomorrow. Shit, we not promised the next second. You can drop dead. So today is the day to do it. So, and on that note, I will say that my brother, I'm gonna add this in, that he's starting the radio station. So please come put your stuff on. I'm gonna let him talk about that. If you would like to reach me, as you can see, you can reach me at Holistic Empowerment on Instagram, Tiffany Gocher on Facebook. And look, check out my website. Sign up for my newsletter, please. I need that. So Fibro, Fibro, women, WOMEN, warriors, WARRIORS.com. So Fibro Women Warriors is my website. Check it out. Let me know. Say hello. What up, doe? If you're from the D. And that's all for now. See you next week.
Right. And see you next week. So speaking of radio station, if you have a show that you want to promote or get out there, hit me up. You can hit me up at iowsportsnetwork@gmail.com. That's about the one I check frequently. And then besides my own personal email, but that's so long, I ain't even about to put that one out there. I still be talking for an hour. That's not email long, but it's a long email.
Yes,
but but you hit me at the IOW Sports Network on one. That's I.O.W. I mean, I put the periods in there. No, that's how YouTube. I mean, how Gmail got set up. But anyway, and if you just like want to promote something, run some ads on there. We're trying to gear it up. The fall is our goal. Trying to get it done by the fall. So trying to collect as much shows and as much people we can get on there, so we can get it rolling strong. And it always has great music. If you like all types of music like I do, I have an eclectic collection of different type of music. I got hip hop, old school hip hop, R&B. I got some soft rock, a little bit of punk, a little bit of acid rock. I got some.
All right, Marie and Donnie. I like the country.
I got some everything, so some everything's on there. So I already got my collection already in files and stuff, so it's just ready to. I got to update some of it too, so I'll probably be switching out some of that music and putting in some newer music. And we got new music, that you hear on the radio station now, and we got some old music you haven't heard in a while, and the different collection of things. Also, you can catch me at every Monday and Thursday live if you like sports. IOW Sports, live on YouTube, so you can catch it there. You want to just get your sports on, we're there doing that one. And then you catch this show under the I Often Wonder moniker. Please like, share, and subscribe like we said before. You got somebody that you just want to cheer them up, send them this show. We'll cheer them up. Share it with them. That's what we here for. But on behalf of Coach Tiff and me, Brother Mel from